Okay, welcome. This is class video 3, designing the web. So it's still the same unit, except now we're going to be doing the reading part. And let me get the PowerPoint here. Okay. So before you get into actually reading, let's just go over what the book likes to call pre-reading. So you don't have to read, just skim. Skim means just quickly look over it and then finish this sentence. The purpose of the article is to. Now, the hint can also be in the title, not always, but sometimes. And the title of this is Website Design on a Giant Scale. So that might help a little bit. Okay, just like the first video, I will say pause now, pause, take it as long as you need, and then unpause. So here we go. Pause now. Okay, welcome back. You should have unpaused. Again, you can pause it for as long as you need. The purpose of this article is to discuss some lessons in huge, very big, giant website design. That's why I said, and sometimes just the title can help. All right, let's get to the article. Here it is. I know in the I'm only showing one page here. Now, I'm not going to actually wait 10 minutes, but when you pause the video, some students, some of you, like to read the questions first, then look at the article, and then answer the questions, or basically look at the questions and then look for the part in the reading that helps you to answer that. Other students will actually read and then look at the questions and then think, oh yeah, I remember seeing that in paragraph 2. But again, the choice is yours. Now, I'm not going to have you pause now, even though it says you have 10 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio so you can read along with the reading. Then you can pause your video and take as much time as you need to answer all of the questions. So when I go to the next slide, the audio will start. So what I want you guys to do is make sure you have page 16 ready to read along. Okay, so here we go. Again, listen and read along.
Website design on a giant scale.
Margaret Gould Stewart has designed for some of the giants of the internet, including Google, YouTube, and Facebook. Here are 2 lessons she has learned from her experience designing for internet users. Look beyond data. For a long time, Facebook had a tool that allowed people to report photos as spam or abuse. But of the cases reported, only a small percentage of the photos were actually offensive. One of the designers on the team felt there probably was a reason for this, so he studied the cases carefully. He found that in most cases, users just didn't like the photos of themselves their friends had posted and wanted them taken down. To enable people to report cases like these, the Facebook team added a new feature. This feature allowed people to message their friends to ask them to take the photo down, but only 20% of people used the function. The team worked on the case further. It spoke to communications experts and studied rules of polite language. It discovered that users didn't just want to tell their friends to take the photo down. They wanted to tell their friends how the photo made them feel. So the team made a small change. People could select a message to explain why they didn't like it, such as, "It's embarrassing." This small change had a huge impact. 60% of people who reported photos used the function. Surveys showed that people on both sides of the conversation felt better as a result. While data about how people are using a product can help designers make decisions, it isn't always as simple as following the numbers. Other factors such as intuition, research, and testing of design are equally important. As Stewart points out, data can help you make a good design great, but it will never make a bad design good. Introduce change carefully. At one time, YouTube was looking for ways to encourage more people to rate videos. When Stewart and her team looked into the data, they found that most people were only using either the highest rating, 5 stars, or the lowest rating, 1 star. Almost no one was using 2, 3, or 4 stars. So the team decided to simplify the rating. It gave users a choice between good or bad, thumbs up or thumbs down. YouTube tried to prepare people for this change by sharing data about how the 5-star rating system wasn't being used as intended. It announced that it was going to change the system to match user behavior. When the change was made, it was still frustrating for some users as they had become attached to the old design. However, because of the preparatory steps taken earlier, it was easier for YouTube to get users to accept the change. This experience shows that even when huge websites try to manage change carefully, it's impossible to completely avoid negative responses. Any changes, even small improvements, need to be introduced carefully.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the questions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the article. The audio might play, but actually, no. You know what? I'm going to leave this up. You can just look at the screen and look in your book and look at the reading to help you with this. As usual, you can pause the video for as long as you need. Pause now. Okay, you should you have unpaused, so let's go over the answers. Again, when you pause, because it's a video, you can pause for as long as you need. Okay, situation. People used a tool for reporting spam to report photos of themselves that they did not like. Facebook added a feature that allowed people to message their friend to take down the photo and explain how the photo made them feel. Lesson. Data is important. Okay, I like to say data in helping designers make decisions, but it must be looked at carefully. Okay, YouTube. People only used the highest and the lowest ratings on a 5-star rating system. Right? They never, or not many of them would click 2, 3, or 4 stars. Okay, what did YouTube do? YouTube shared data about how people were using its rating system before simplifying, making it easy to either thumbs up or thumbs down. It's important to manage change carefully. All right, again, with the answers, you can always, again, you can pause at any time, right? So this would be a good time to pause if you wanted to write down. Okay, I'm gonna go. All right, next part, vocabulary. Those were the words in blue. What did they mean, right? So take as much time as you need for A. Now, pause. Okay, welcome back. Spam, we all know what spam is, I'm pretty sure. Unwanted emails, unwanted messages, things like that. Okay, impact and effect. Encourage, to make someone more likely to do something. Frustrating, annoying, irritating. All right, that leaves only one word, and the word is attached. And there's only one meaning left, and attached means having a strong liking for something. A lot of us, I have to say, we are attached to our cell phones. All right, using these words in A, I was going to say finish these sentences, but actually just put the correct word in the correct blank. For as long as you need, pause now. All right, welcome back. Here we go, answers to B. I get more spam than regular emails. Of course, now Gmail, Neighbor Mail, all of them are very good at putting spam into the junk or spam folder. Okay, YouTube made its rating system simpler to encourage more people to rate videos. 3, creative innovations can have a big impact on how people interact with one another. Some people may find, number 4, some people may find learning how to use a new cell phone a frustrating experience, and many people become emotionally attached to their smartphones or cell phones. Okay, again, you can pause now if you need to write these down. And I will now move on to the next slide. Okay, these are some, everybody should know this, but these are some very common phrases for listing points. Let me tell you the reasons why I didn't like the movie first. Second, also, another thing. Here it says one other thing, but you can also just say another thing I didn't like was. All right, so in the book it says watch, but we are actually going to listen to her talk about the work that she does. And when you listen, think about this question. Don't look at the 1, 2, 3. Just look at the question. How does she define user experience? Also, you might see UX, it means the same thing. User experience. All right, so let's listen and listen for what she says about this, but also the work that she does.
Perry, could you tell us a little about what you do?
I'm the Director of Communications for an economic development organization in Virginia. I also create websites for clients as a freelancer, and I write about web design and design trends for a number of sites, like Design Shack, Web Designer Depot, and the Next Web. I write a lot about how to create user experiences that feel great and natural.
What is user experience and why is it important?
User experience is how a person feels when using a website. It includes the physical aspects of the design and how the site works and functions. If the user experience is poor, users will leave the site for something else. But a good user experience engages and delights users. You know the experience is good if you keep coming back to a website or an app.
Okay, I know she speaks really, really fast. And I'm going to check right now, to see if maybe she's here. Let me see. No, she's not. So you can't look in the back of the book. So I'll tell you what. Of course, you can pause the video, go back, listen one more time, but I will play this one more time.
Perry, could you tell us a little about what you do?
I'm the Director of Communications for an economic development organization in Virginia. I also create websites for clients as a freelancer, and I write about web design and design trends for a number of sites, like Design Shack, Web Designer Depot, and the Next Web. I write a lot about how to create user experiences that feel great and natural.
What is user experience and why is it important?
User experience is how a person feels when using a website. It includes the physical aspects of the design and how the site works and functions. If the user experience is poor, users will leave the site for something else. But a good user experience engages and delights users. You know the experience is good if you keep coming back to a website or an app.
Okay, so the question in here is, how does she define, or what meaning does she give to UX? Again, you can pause now, go back, listen. All right, so what did she say about UX?
Perry, could you
Sorry.
tell us a little about what you do? What are the most important things you focus on?
My mistake there. I'll get to that in just a minute. Sorry. We're now going to listen to the next part. Oh, here it is. It's how a person feels when using a website. She did say that a bad UX, people will leave. A good UX, people will stay longer. So you did hear the little bit of the first part, and I'm going to play that right now. This is for 4. Listen, as she talks about the things she focuses on when designing a website. So match these. As you hear these words, what does she say about them?
What are the most important things you focus on when designing a website?
Functionality, readability, and usability. These 3 things are vital when it comes to putting a website together. First, the website has to do something useful and functional. This typically means the design solves a problem for the user. The problem can be anything from finding a new pair of shoes to passing time with a fun game. Second, the content needs to be visually pleasing. The text must be easy to read and photos must be sharp. Finally, the website must be easy to use. The design has to do what the user expects in a way that makes sense.
Okay, this time I won't play it one more time, but you can go back and listen as you need. Okay, so please do that now. Okay, so here we go. Functionality. It solves a problem for the user. Readability. Content is nice to look at. Reading. Usability. Coming from the word use, right? So the site is easy to, it's easy to go from one page to the next and back to another page. Again, it all comes down to UX. All right, so again, pause the video here if you want to write this down, and I will be moving on to the next slide now. Okay, for our Zoom class, we will be talking a little bit about what we just did, but I'm going to focus on comparatives and superlatives. And in case you didn't know, adjectives in Korean, those would be Yeungnam. So I'll see you guys in the Zoom class. Just know that we will be talking about comparatives and superlatives. All right, see you then. Bye.